Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, not your host, but I'm Melissa for Boss Beginnings. That was weird, but here we are. And again, I have my niece Angel.
Hello. Can you hear me all right? I have said
Yeah, I
everything.
hear you.
Okay.
Mhm. Well, today we're here. I know you see the title. It's about Run. Robin Dixon. She's a housewife of the Housewives of Potomac. Potomac. She's recently announced that she knew that one, was talking to this lady, and that she knew it during season 7. And a lot of people are very angry with her for not, exploiting herself on the Housewives of of Potomac. And they're also demanding that she be removed from the cast because they feel like she's boring, and that, she should have, let people in that she knew that her husband, well, now her husband was her fiance at the time, that her fiance was cheating on her. And she even said that she didn't get married. And maybe the reason she didn't get married right away is because she knew he was cheating or whatever. But to just before we get to that, first I want to ask you guys, if you're just coming in, don't forget to hit the like button. Please share, so that people can know that we're going that the channel's going live. I'm definitely still going to be doing my crafts. This is going to be like a woman empowerment channel. I'm going to talk about different issues that affect women. I've done different Black History videos so far, Sojourner Truth, and I did Clarence King with Ada Copeland, which was a love story. So if you haven't checked those out, I'll put them in the description, and you definitely can. But do you want to just hear her basically tell her story of how she knew about her husband before we give our opinions on it?
Yeah, let's play it. Because I never watched it, so like the
Okay.
show. I just happened to have scrolled across like 2 TikToks of people having thoughts on it. So yeah.
Okay. Well, just to catch you up. So Robin and her now husband they're married again, but they were married before. They decided to divorce because I think one was cheating on her, which is her husband. But because both of them were broke, they couldn't afford to move out. So even though they were divorced for 3 years, they were still living under the same household. So when the Housewives of Potomac first started, we first meet Robin, her and Juan are still staying together. But initially, they were making it like we're not even like dating, like we're just staying together because we can't afford to get our own place. Like we were hit bad financially. I can't remember what happened, but I think it's something that Robin did that caused them to be hit hard financially or whatever. And so that's how they will both introduce us. Well, as the seasons go on, they start to date again, and they decide that they want to try. A lot of people, I feel like, still hold against her that at the beginning he was real negative about the relationship, saying he wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the boys. And I don't even think he was there for the boys initially. I think he was there because he couldn't afford to leave. That's why they were still, because men leave out every day. You know what they say, men leave every day, B. So I don't even think he was there for the boys. I think he was there because they couldn't afford to leave each other. But I think it was clear on both sides. I mean, of course, I'm not in Robin's head, so I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know if she was secretly in love with him. But the way it was presented to us, that's all I can say. The way it was presented to us is that they were staying together initially because they couldn't afford to stay on their own. Yeah. So as the seasons go by, they finally, start back dating. Then what's the boy name? One proposes to Robin. And then it's the engagement of the century. Everybody keeps asking her, not everybody, Karen keeps asking her, if she's another lady on the show, when are you and Juan get married? When are you and Juan get married? And, initially she would always escape the question, elude the question, like, we're working on it. We're going to see what's going to happen, And then finally, I say this season, she finally gave did she give it? I think this season she finally gave an answer. And they were going to get married, just them two alone with the kids, because they have 2 boys. I don't know if I mentioned that. They were going to just go ahead and get married alone. But her mom was so up in hand. You know how moms are. You know how your mom is. Imagine telling her you're going to get married. I think you're on mute again. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine telling your mom that you're going to get married and she can't be there. So instead of them getting married in Jamaica, they decided to they still went to Jamaica, but they didn't get married because she knew her mom really wanted to be there. So they came back here, and I'm thinking, you never know with editing. It looked as if it was just her parents and them, them two and her two kids, there at the wedding, but they were, they did allow her the chance to experience it with them. And so, through the whole season, people had allegations that one was cheating on Robin. She denied it, or she acted like she didn't know what was going on. And then after the season was over, she admitted that she did know about one of the allegations, and people are mad. So I'm going to go ahead and play, the podcast from another channel, and I'll link that below if you want to go to her channel and hear what she has to say. And just hear from Robin's own mouth what she knew and what she said, what was going on. I'm sorry.
No,
All right.
it's funny because I can hear it clicking. So.
You hear it clicking and nothing happening. All right. So I just said share audio. I didn't share the video. So can you see the video or no?
Yeah.
You can see the video?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought I first shared audio. Well, here we go.
Live on Instagram or whatever, TikTok, Twitter, whatever it might be. Young lady came forward talking about she and Juan dated during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And she shows this like hotel receipt with his name on it. Right. Okay. That's like pretty. That's legit. I don't know. That's the premature allegation. Right. Exactly. So what I want to. Okay. So what I want to say, first of all, I was aware of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Before we filmed season 7.
Right.
And because this young lady was so pressed to tell me and to tell you, Giselle,
yes.
I assume she told the whole cast.
Right, because she DM'd me.
Right. So all of season 7, I'm just like waiting for somebody to bring it up. Because Karen is good for thinking she got some tea. Right. Or anybody. I mean, like that's our life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just ready for it. I'm waiting for it. And so we're in Mexico, and Ashley talking about us, and I'm like, okay, this is it,
right.
And she talks about some blonde holding hand, him holding hands with blonde and Georgetown looks like Karen. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. Okay. Right. So that was, it was kind of comical to me. So then we go down that road. But however, I was already aware of the situation, and I expected to talk about it on season 7.
Right.
Now, the situation when it was presented to me was handled, was discussed, it was handled. It was something we had to work through, It was not something that it was just like, okay, whatever. However, there are a lot of things that need to be cleared up with what's being said with what allegedly happened, which did not. So, okay. I'm kind of, and I want to maybe share the details for Patreon. Oh yeah. We'll give the details on Patreon. Yeah, so go ahead on and subscribe. So I will give more details on Patreon. But what I will say is, yes, Juan was an idiot, and communicated with this woman on Instagram. Because whatever. He's bored. He needs attention. It's a pandemic. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Right. However, they did not date. He did not fly her anywhere. Right. And there is a reason why his name is on a hotel receipt, which I will share on Patreon. Yes. Boom. And the reason is not because he asked her to come and was volunteered to pay for this hotel room. Right. The end. Okay. Yes. And then I will say several things on Patreon. Like let me catch her outside. Let me catch her outside. But since she pretty much was trying to bribe Juan and told her that she was going to become famous off of us, then I don't know, girl. Go, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully you can start OnlyFans and get some money off of it or something. Yes, go show your booty on OnlyFans. Right. But I will say, just with respect to Juan and I, we dealt with the situation. It was definitely something that we had to work through relationship-wise. Maybe that's why the wedding didn't happen when y'all wanted it to. Oh, really? I mean, let's discuss. We'll discuss. Okay. I mean, yeah, maybe.
Okay. So that was pretty much, me trying not to show it and just do the audio, but that didn't work. But I'll work on that for next time. But that was pretty much it, right? So, according to her, so, there are other, I use the word receipts, but that's what they call it, receipts, right? There is another one, and before we go over it, I'm gonna play that too. Just excuse me. You can hear what the people in the street saying. Every last one of them. Okay. So this is supposedly mistress. Not supposedly.
After it was announced that Robin and Juan Dixon was married, again, Juan's alleged mistress decided to speak out anonymously. Juan's mistress reached out to one of my mutuals, Giorgio says, and told him they have been dating for over a year after the pandemic, allegedly. According to the mistress, Robin knew about the affair and asked her to not make it public, allegedly. This woman provided screenshots of hotel receipts with Juan's name on it. This phone call from Sunday's episode was what made me think he was guilty of something.
Okay, so I just don't want to play that because I don't know if I'll get copyrighted because he took that directly from the episode, and I don't have no money to pay off Bravo, so I'm gonna just go ahead and end that. But make us back big again. Okay, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so that's it. So that's the video recording of her stating that she knew about the situation and that she wasn't going to address it, right, unless she had to, because who would, right? What y'all saw back there when I was trying to plug up. But she didn't, she said she knew and that she wasn't going to bring it up because she assumed the girls would bring it up because the girl inboxed her and inboxed her good friend. And when I listened to that, the first thing I think of, we're always making women justify men's action, right? Like at the end of the day, Robin's not the one who cheated, right? So it's just weird that she has to get in and defend herself for why she decided to stay within her, well, she wasn't married then, but with the person that she's been probably common law married with, and she has 2 children with, like, why aren't we questioning, one, about why aren't you being more serious about this relationship? Why aren't you, committed to your family more, It's like the idea that she has to sit here and explain what somebody else did, which she can't explain why somebody else did something else, to me is already uncomfortable, right? It's kind of like when my friend used to ask me, well, Melissa, you're vegetarian, how could you be overweight? It's like, dang, you want me to explain to you why I'm fat? It's like, that's not fair to a person to try to like make them explain something that, really, well, that does have something to do with me, but still, like, that's really out of their hands. It's too much to me. Even the beginning of it, that she even has to do this,
Yeah. But she's doing this because she said she didn't know. I don't know. So I saw her on, I think Andy Cohen is his name. Like it was from, that's what I saw on TikTok. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, you were like, I don't know anything about this, but you did know something about it. And then she's like, I never said I didn't know anything about it. And I don't watch the show, but I was like, okay, I don't know what
she denied.
Watch this clip. I'm like, I guess, I guess the Lord knew you were going to ask me to go live because I was like, I don't watch this show. Like, I don't know why I watched this clip on TikTok. It was so long too. But yeah, at the end of the day, if she wants to stay with her man, let her stay with her man. I'm the queen of minding my own business, so I don't understand. Why? I mean, I just think we hold women to a standard of we expect so little out of men that it's up to women to respect themselves instead of be respected in their relationships. Like, it's just like we expect men to be dogs. We expect men not to help kids. We expect men to just, I guess, just show up. And so it's on the woman to hold that line, right? Mm-hmm. And so that sucks. I mean, because honestly, at the end of the day, as somebody who has heard a story that makes no sense and just been like, it's not worth the effort to leave, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's why I feel a little defensive of her. Like, because I mean, to me, I'm like, yeah, girl, what he telling you not making no sense. But if you want to stay, just stay. Like, it's not my business.
They've been bothered by her since first season. So then they said she's a colorist, right? Just because she's light and she didn't like a dark-skinned girl. Now, if she didn't like her because she was dark-skinned, that's colorist, you know.
Well, I mean, don't say that, though.
Huh?
If she didn't say that, what are we going to do about that?
Right. I didn't hear her say, I don't like Wendy because she's dark. I think she doesn't like Wendy because they kept getting into it. And, you know, that's what happens when you get into it with people you don't like them and you try to call them out because you don't like them. That's life. I just feel like people on the internet and people, you know, watching these reality shows, I feel like they really remove themselves from real life when they talk about when they talk about these people on these reality shows. Like, people wanted her to leave the situation. And as we talked about even before we got on live, it's like, I don't think people realize the responsibility of, you know, walking away from a situation where you have small kids. Not that it's not possible, but everybody doesn't want to put on the cape. You know what I mean? Like, we know if she walks away.
Over, and who am I to tell her, like, what's better for her? Like, I mean, in a perfect world, it's much better to be alone than be with somebody who would dare cheat on you. And I get that. That's in a perfect world. But as somebody who is no longer in her marriage, it's hard out here sometimes, okay?
Yeah.
And not to say that I would go back to my marriage, but I mean, I get
the benefits of, you know, having another.
To be fair, it's like we talked about this before we got on live, right? I didn't leave my marriage after the moment that he cheated on me and then told me a story that didn't make sense, that I just chose to be like, whatever, to. Like, I didn't leave my marriage after that. I left, well, we separated for something later, right? So, I don't know, in a perfect world, not that I'm a perfect scenario, maybe I should have left my marriage back then, but I mean, also, just mind your business. I don't know.
That's the bottom line. It's like, at the end of the day, we know that if she walks away from this situation, yes, she will still live. Yes, more than likely she'll figure it out, right? But the responsibility of raising them two kids are going to be solely, primarily on her. Now he gets to go out here and do all this stuff and not have the kids, okay? So, I mean, I don't know. It's worked for them all this time, you know. I mean, we look at it, we go, oh, that's not healthy. But then I feel like we're the same group of people who encourage people to explore their sexuality, and women are like encouraging women to have threesomes and stuff. Like, this is the ultimate threesome. She just wasn't invited to it, you know? And it's like, we can be all open-minded about open relationships, about all this stuff. And when a woman says, you know what? We worked through it. We talked about it. It wasn't easy. I didn't want to put my business out there. Duh. She thought she was going to be called out. Like she said, she was there. She was ready. Okay, you got the information. They didn't get the information. That's not her fault. I'm not going to out myself either.
Who that information up? Like, that's the number one rule. If you decide you're going to stay, you don't talk about it unless you have to talk about it.
You don't have to talk about it. That's going to cause problems in your home that you've already worked through. And the only reason she's addressing it now is not because she's going, ha, I knew something y'all didn't know. The only reason she's addressing it now is because she's been outed. Like, you know how many secrets that we probably don't know about everybody? Because if you don't know, if you can't prove it, I'm not going to admit it. You think Wendy is going to admit that, they keep calling her broke, that she don't have money for this, that, and this. No, unless she gets thrown out of the house. And even if she gets thrown out of the house, she's going to say, well, it's just that it was something with our contract. Da, 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 da. Like, you only get outed when there's no way to turn back. Like, people not just outing themselves. Like, the idea that everybody on the internet is saying, like, oh, you should have told this storyline to Bravo. We watched you for this. We want to know what's going on. She don't have to. This is her real life. Like, you guys are watching a TV show. This is her real life. So unless she got caught, as in taken, right, she don't have to say anything. And I just think that we need to stop being in this world where we telling women what's best for them. Like, let her pick what's best for her, because only she is the one that has to live with the consequences, right? So, hey, they get married, try it out, which for some reason that happens, right? You be dating all these years and you get married for a year, you be like, you know what, this is too much. So you never know what can happen. They get married a year from now, they might not be together. I mean, that's her choice, but it needs to happen when she's ready. And the idea that we have all these people online trying to dictate when she should and shouldn't love somebody, or when she should end or begin a relationship, and I don't know. It's just like, I feel like they've made her the villain, in this story or this season, period. And I don't get it, because I see so many people sending hate towards her. And I'm like, I don't understand why. Because to me, yeah, she messy, but the whole crew is messy. And then they told you they make them ask certain questions. Like, when they get with certain people, they make them ask certain questions. They put them in certain situations. Like, it's not 100% scripted, but it's somewhat scripted, where they like tell you what they want you to talk about, or they put you in positions to make you, react to certain situations. So, I mean, she's messy, but I'm pretty sure she's being prompted to be messy. She's being told to ask these hard questions. She's been told, like, hey, next time you see Wendy, bring up the fact that, I don't know, I forgot what they argued over so much stuff this season. Bring up the fact of this, or talk about that, da, da, da. Like, that's what the show is there for. Now, if you didn't catch her on her slip, right, that's on you, okay? Like, if you didn't find out.
It's just weird that she has to be the villain for being cheated on. Like, it's like, why is she the villain in the story? Because she got cheated on and was like, I'll forgive him. Now, his story, I'm more mad at him because the story doesn't make sense.
Not a quality story.
You talking to this girl, she coming to town, but not to see you. You make that very clear. Then she gets somewhere she can't pay to stay. So she tells you, not the person she came to see, that's a football player. And then you don't Zelle her or Cash App her or Venmo her.
Not even a good cheater.
You go up there and leave your car. You personally pay. And this is why there's a receipt with her name on it. But you didn't stay. You just laid eyes on her that one time to go pay for her hotel room. And then you left.
So what I will say is, it seems as if he's not a very bright individual. Like, the idea that you're on a reality show and that you're leaving a paper trail of messages. Not only are you leaving,
like, if you were gonna swipe your card and have your name on a receipt, you could just Venmo her. Like, yeah. There's no of the evidence. And she says on that Andy Cohen thing, she's like, I get that people don't believe that, but I believe him because based on what she's saying and what he's saying, I believe him. And I'm like, well, if you believe him, look.
Listen, she knows him better than I do. Maybe she feels like it's a certain look he had. I don't know. I'm not here to talk about that. Do I believe him? Of course not. I don't believe him. But it ain't my relationship. And I guess I just get irritated when other people tell people, well, this is what you need to do. Like, I saw a blogger saying that, she could have been a socialite. She could have rode off in the wind if she would have left him and found her a new man. And that's, like you said, that's in like the perfect world, right? Real world is that she's in a bracket that she's going to be men that make a certain amount of money, right? Because that's who her circle is. She's in Potomac, right? And not saying all rich men cheat, okay? But there might be an idea that certain men, have multiple women. So in her mind, especially if she's talking to her friend Giselle, who's had a horrible time trying to date out here in this same market, she might have been told, like, girl, you can leave if you want to, but you're probably gonna pick up a 2.0 once you leave, because none of their husbands are that great. Karen, well, you don't know the cast, but Karen's husband is about 110. I'm not quite sure what Candace's husband does for a living, but I think he manages a restaurant. I don't know. And then who's the other one that's on there? Wendy. I think Wendy has the best husband. They're the Nigerian family. I feel like they probably had the best, in my opinion, probably have the best relationship. And then we just found out that Nia and her husband were evicted from their homes. So whatever, all that glitters doesn't, what is it? Everything that glitters isn't gold.
I'm like, I don't know. I was about to make something up.
But I guess all I'm saying is, I just really hate that people don't like her, simply like you said, because she's been cheated on. And they don't like that her and Wendy got into it, but her and Wendy got into it. So they're going to have a beef like that. That's what, that's what these reality shows are made for. Before now, she didn't have a person, in my opinion, she really didn't have a big role. She didn't have a personality. So either she brought the drama or she was going home. Now she brings the drama and y'all mad because she brings the wrong type of drama, like, oh, we don't like her being extra. It's kind of like when Cynthia stepped up, but Cynthia was so sweet that even though she's being messy, you still kind of liked her. But, I guess Robin has a mean girl vibe to her. So people were able to, people weren't able to stand her attitude. So, but
yeah, she gives me mean girl. When I saw the clip, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know people were mad at her about it. I was confused, but I could see she gives me.
They want her off the show because she didn't exploit herself, because she didn't out herself. They was like, hey, we don't care that you got away with this secret. You should have told us. And we want you off the show because your biggest bag, people are counting her money. Your biggest bag is Bravo. They deserve to have that storyline. That's what we wanted to hear. That's the storyline we wanted. And you took it to your podcast.
Not them advocating for Bravo. Not them being mad at her.
Not us not getting a check from Bravo and they're advocating for Bravo.
And people being mad at her because she
went to her own platform.
For it. No.
First of all, the only reason she talked about it is because she was outed. I don't think she would even took it to her platform had the girl not started showing receipts. Even if the girl would have just said, I had an affair with one, she probably just denied it and looked the other way. But because the girl was able to produce receipts, because one is dumb, right? She was able to produce receipts. She had no choice but to address it. And most of this stuff happened probably after the season wrapped. And she did, like she said, she thought she was going to be outed. No one knew. So I'm not outing myself. And that only makes sense. I feel like if you have, I'm not going to say you can't have an issue with Robin, because we all pick people that we feel like we gravitate towards. And this person becomes a villain, for each whatever reason. So I'm not saying that you can't dislike Robin. But if you solely dislike Robin because she has an opinion and because she got cheated on, and she decided that, hey, I'm not raising these kids by myself, that I'm going to at least stay today like 15 or 16 where they can watch themselves and it's not all on me. At that point, they can drive and get around. I ain't mad at her. Like, it ain't easy out here being a single parent. So if you don't have to put yourself in that position, don't do it, So, well, what do you have to say? And then I guess we can wrap this up.
No, I think you said it.
I think she's froze.
I'm not. I'm moving, but you are frozen.
Oh, well, maybe it's me freezing, so it's showing you it's frozen on my side. Are you there? Well, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if you can hear me or if you can hear her. I don't know if it's time for me to pay my internet bill. They slow you down a little bit when it's time to pay that bill. So, but I guess we'll just wrap it up here and just say that that you wanted your friends to you when you took your significant other back know, 100 times.
I'm like, I
don't know what's going on. You guys,
yeah.
Well, I first want to say thank you guys for, it's late coming in and listen with me. I want to have more of a conversation about this. So, drop in the comments some things you want us to talk about. So yes, to me, she's passive aggressive, and I feel like because she's been like the stepping stool this whole time, and now she get that. But I mean, I like Robin, and I wish her and her husband the best. I mean, he's trash because he cheated, but I just feel like she's doing what's best for her. And if that girl say she believe he can, she believe, got nothing to do with me because I'm not the one who had to raise her kids. I don't have to help pay for that house that is popping. I know it costs a lot of money. None of that. So, what it is. Well, you're froze, but I guess we're gonna wrap it up. Well, thank you guys for being with us. I think Angel's froze, but you know what I always say at the end? Till next time, guys, stay. I gotta get this face down, so I ain't getting so much weight.